burns like a candle when heated, earning it the nickname of flammable ice, and even fire ice.
Then air is sent through the tubes to the control center located on the side of the road.
The minister said there are still several challenges to be overcome in the energy sector.
The idea started in the late 1700s, but only now is the technology,
Governor John Kitchaka,
and the political willpower coming online.
Well, hello there, and welcome back. It's Radio Free Canada. Hi there, I'm Darren Howard.
Good morning, I'm Robert Nisbet.
And well, good afternoon or good evening, no matter where you are, because remember, somewhere the revolution of consciousness is occurring. We're here to talk about it because mainstream news isn't, and it's Innovation Day.
It is Innovation Day. We're going to be talking about recycling and alternate forms of energy.
So let's get right into it. Here's a clip for you from Radio Free Canada. Thanks for joining us.
A flame of hope in the Pacific Ocean off Japan's coast. The flare is an indication of burning gas. The company responsible for this exploration is hailing it as a breakthrough, the first time natural gas has been extracted from offshore deposits of something called methane hydrate. The substance is essentially gas that's been trapped in an icy cage of water molecules. Although it looks like packed snow, it burns like a candle when heated, earning it the nickname of flammable ice, and even fire ice. In recent years, pilot tests have succeeded in extracting gas from methane hydrates found under land ice or permafrost. But most of the planet's deposits lies offshore. In this latest trial, a Japanese vessel drilled into an area 1,000 meters deep. When it reached a layer of deposits 300 meters below the seabed, it lowered the pressure, causing the methane and ice to separate before finally piping the gas to the surface. This is potentially game-changing technology. Carbon from methane hydrates worldwide is believed to be double that found in all of Earth's fossil fuels. The seas around Japan alone is thought to hold enough reserves to satisfy domestic consumption anywhere from 10 to 100 years.
Natural resources are expected to grow scarcer in the years to come, so this is an absolutely essential development for Japan.
The exploration company says it's aiming for production to become commercially viable within 6 years. For Japan, now the world's largest importer of liquefied natural gas, that day can't come soon enough. Gerald Tan, Al Jazeera.
This is great news.
So we have a corporate head who actually has some soul.
I mean, we found a guy with heart and soul inside the corporation. Because what's happening right now is people are waking up around the world and they're rocking it. Look at the numbers. I mean, replay the clip like 14 times.
Yeah, he's done all that in the past year.
In 1 year, they saved 100,000 barrels worth of oil just by issuing credits for doing the right thing instead of making more money.
And the money they've saved governments on shipping costs to landfills.
I mean, come on, the solutions are everywhere. Major News is not talking about it. We are. We're Radio Free Canada. What do you got for me, brother?
We have more innovations in space.
All right, let's do it. Space innovation time right here. Thanks for joining us.
New Energy Innovations has designed a revolutionary product as the holy grail of renewable energy. New Energy Innovations presents the Traffic-Powered Renewable Energy System, or TPRESS for short. This new invention will take everyday traffic and turn it into a constant stream of energy for cities worldwide. With every depression of the T-press via a vehicle driving over the T-press unit, each axle creates an actuation, then air is sent through the tubes to the control center located on the side of the road, where it is compressed in a tank and turned into energy. From the compression tank, the air is dispersed at an even rate to the air motor, which then turns the alternator. The capacitor stores and regulates the energy charge. The pressure regulator provides a consistent air supply to the air motor. The pressure gauge keeps an eye on maximum output. The voltmeter measures the volts being produced, and the amp meter measures the current. The resistor is designed to prevent damage to the inverter and shut the system down when too much energy is produced from the traffic. We currently believe the system has the ability to generate enough electricity to power 40 homes for a year based on one intersection with a heavy flow of traffic. The T-press can be installed and running in an intersection for proof of form, fit, and function after the testing is completed in a very short period of time.
So being a great lover of the internet, you know, the fact we have a carbon footprint.
I'm very glad they're working on plans to reduce that carbon footprint.
Or, you know, think about it. They're going to double the amount of carbon that comes out if we keep going in the same way we are. And the internet creates as much carbon footprint as the airline industry.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I mean, just from surfing. But, I mean, okay, got to work on those solutions. One of the reasons why it's so cool working here today and finding out what the real solutions are. So,
wow, apparently there's a Canadian couple who's really coming up with some really innovative ideas on how to look at the future.
Doesn't that make you proud?
It surely does.
It just sort of, yeah. Okay, let's run this.
Scotland has become a powerhouse of the renewable energy industry, according to MP Edward Davey, who recently delivered a speech at the Scottish Renewables conference detailing the country's burgeoning economy and what should be done to sustain its growth. A recent study released by the Department for Energy and Climate Change has revealed that the UK is fully behind using renewable energy in order to reduce the country's carbon footprint. Scottish Renewables now account for 40% of the installed capacity of the whole of the UK and support thousands of jobs in the country. The minister said there are still several challenges to be overcome in the energy sector, with infrastructure the main concern and the country's reliance on fossil fuels also outlined. Some 11,000 jobs in Scotland are supported by its renewable energy industry, and over 35% of the electricity used in the country is generated by renewables. Over the last 2 years alone, Scotland has seen announcements of over £2.3 billion of investment in renewables, with the potential to support over 4,500 extra jobs in the country. This story was brought to you by QBE, the business insurance specialist.
That's so impressive.
That is so cool. An older couple who decided to take matters into their own hands and build their own house from stuff people throw away.
I dream of doing such things. I wish that we would do this food not lawn thing right across the city, okay, and be like this guy.
Yeah, I know.
But we have the solutions right now. They're in our garbage dump.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, there's so much that's thrown away.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. You want to do this?
We need to do this.
This is cool. You know, make sure you check our facts, though, and make sure you get on the internet to check it, because we're not going to make commercials saying trust us, but trust this.
Yeah.
Plans for the development of a new renewable energy system at a farm in Herefordshire have been given the go-ahead by local officials. The owners of the Little Pengethley farm close to St Owen's Cross have developed an innovative new system to generate power and heat while on site. They will look to do so by installing 2 20-foot digester tanks at the farm, as the Hereford Times reports. These tanks will be used to produce biogas energy, which will then power all of the facilities used across the farm. This gas will be made up from a mix of on-site vegetable waste, poultry litter and energy crops, and despite some local concerns, represents an innovative energy solution for the agricultural business. Last week, councillors from the area gave their blessing to the plans, quashing any fears that the new facility could lead to traffic increases in the region. Speaking to the news provider, Councillor Dave Greenow said, "I don't think there'll be any adverse effect on the neighbourhood. The plans echo those of an East Yorkshire shooting school where the owners have installed a number of renewable energy systems in a bid to cut costs." This story was brought to you by QBE, the business insurance specialist.
How most impressive.
That's true. Those guys actually have a restaurant they're running, and where they're making food out of throwaway.
But, you know, we've got bylaws that say you're not supposed to do such things.
Because of the health regulations.
Well, of course, that makes sense. Throwing away food, though, I mean, if you take a look at biotechnology, we don't have to throw away food. We could make it into fuel.
Yeah, I know.
Every community, And this is part of municipal sustainability. That's why we're so on municipal sustainability.
But doesn't it make more sense to ship it to the landfill so the seagulls can eat it?
Of course, because we need more seagulls.
Yes, of course.
All right. Or pandas. We need more pandas.
More pandas, right. But there are some people that are actually trying to cut down on the wastage of food, the food that's thrown away.
And this is one of those impressive clips that makes us happy to come to work. Okay, let's check it out.
The freshest catch from the Oregon coast doesn't come from these crabbing boats. It's hauled in by a science vessel.
I'm Belinda Batten with Oregon State University. We are heading out to see the wave energy test site.
Out here, they're angling electricity.
If we were a little closer to the device, you could actually hear the hydraulics whining slightly.
This is a generator that turns the power of waves into the power you can use in your house.
That up and down motion is what produces wave energy.
Off my shoulder is one of those testers made by a company out of New Zealand. That red piece is kind of like a basketball that bounces up and down in the ocean. That's what pushes the generator, and that's what creates the power.
So now that we're a little closer, you can see a little bit more of the action there of that float.
The idea started in the late 1700s, but only now is the technology,
Governor John Kitzhaber,
and the political willpower coming online.
We're one of the few coastlines in the world that has the attributes necessary to develop a successful wave energy industry.
It's been a bit challenging to get these things up and going because there hasn't been funding in the U.S. for this industry like there's been in the U.K.
You know, if you look at the subsidies we have right now for fossil fuel, it's not a very big investment for potentially an enormous return.
But right now, here in 150-foot deep water, what's known as the Wet NZ device is just an experiment.
There in the background, you can see through the fog is the Ocean Sentinel.
That's the computer platform that records how much power they're pulling from the Pacific.
There's no one device that people have settled on as a best device.
If Wet NZ goes to market, it will produce enough power for hundreds of homes and be
approximately twice as large.
But after all, this is the energy industry, and it's very competitive. A lot of companies want to get in on this. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to take you to a factory where they're building what could be the first grid-connected wave generator. But for now, off the Oregon coast, I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel.
So there you go again.
Exactly. You know, don't buy more food than you need. Don't waste food. Don't throw it away. And if you are going to get rid of it, make sure it goes somewhere that it can be reused.
You know, and that's one of our most important points is that we've got to get to that point that we, get back with the land. We start conserving, but using everything that we got.
I know.
There's a lot of people, I see some of the high maintenance people out there, and they're like, I don't eat leftovers. Are you
crazy?
I mean, what kind of person does that? They throw away food all the time. Also, takeout food. You take the doggy bag home with your styrofoam wrapper around it, and then it sits there in the fridge until you throw it out.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't it make your gut kind of go, bleh?
Well, even the food that's produced in restaurants, it doesn't get sold. It gets wasted.
And that's insulting to start with. It's innovations. We got another whole segment, yeah?
Yeah, alternate fuel.
Alternate fuel. Of course, there are solutions, and we are Radio Free Canada, broadcasting solutions, happiness, and an end to poverty.
Well, we need an end to poverty because the way the job market's looking.
We are going to be talking about jobs later on, too. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
We're trying to get through all the innovations that'll save the world right now. This is Radio Free Canada. Canada used to have what is called a social safety net. That net used to consist of welfare and UI checks, and it ensured that people would not have to steal to live. But now there are no effective social safety nets left, except for the richest of the rich. How does it work? Well, it's pretty simple. Major corporations are awarded subsidies, tax breaks, and eased regulations, and you are not. Not convinced? Just remember that you pay 65% of your wages in taxes, and Canadian banks, corporations, pay no taxes at all. But things are changing. From Egypt to Toronto, from Victoria to Halifax, people are winning battles by standing up for what is right. People like me and you. On January 28th, we are asking you to go to your city hall at 12 noon all across the country. Spread this video around and stand up against corporate welfare and get our safe streets back in an effective way.